Many of the Looney Tunes series were formula-driven, and Frizz did all the Tweety and Sylvester cartoons.
Hello, breakfast.
I like Sylvester because he was the fall guy, and all the gags came from Sylvester's failures as being the adversary, the guy, the villain who would try to get the little bird. All the sympathy was with the little bird.
You bad old peeking tomcat.
So it was wonderful to see this cartoon take the very foundation of these characters and their relationship and poke fun at it. And I think that's why it stood out and won an Oscar.
Good morning, my little feathered friend.
Dear Diary, I know you won't believe this, but today...
This is the cartoon where Sylvester decides that he's going to swear off birds.
I got it beat. My willpower is indominant of the bubble.
This conflict of him fighting his natural tendency, which made it a real funny movie.
If you really want to beat this, look us up.
Anyone who's tried to give up smoking or tried to give up any bad habit can certainly relate to Sylvester when he's in the worst pangs of desire for that one last canary.
I can't stand it. I gotta have a bird.
When the film was first conceived, Alcoholics Anonymous was pretty new then.
Would someone volunteer to tell what B.A. has done for him? I was a 3-bird-a-day pussycat until B.A. helped me.
That's why the Academy singled it out, was that unusual gimmick, you know, of connecting Alcoholics Anonymous and stuff with cats. That was just kind of an irresistible story.
Frizz was pushing the envelope once again, and I don't know what AA had to say about that at the time, but it was a great and gutsy satiric premise to have birds be the substitute for booze.
From now on, my motto is, birds is strictly for the birds.
I always feel that cartoons tell you something about the time in which they were made. And certainly, if audiences in the 1950s weren't familiar with Alcoholics Anonymous and what that was all about, they couldn't have spoofed it in Birds Anonymous.
Uh-oh, here we go again.
Birds Anonymous is a great cartoon for a lot of different reasons. And the first one that comes to mind is actually Mel Blanc's vocal performance.
One little bird, just one, just one. No one will know the difference. No one, just one. Then I'll quit after one.
It was in that cartoon that we really saw what a great actor Mel Blanc truly was.
I'll never understand how Mel Blanc did what he did. I'm not sure he even understood or could articulate what he did, because he was an instinctive performer. He just did it.
There! Now I won't be able to get the bird.
My dad loved the writing in Birds Anonymous that he has the Oscar for, and he does about 15 voices on it.
I'm sorry I had to do that. I was afraid you might be weakening. Yes, I did weaken. Thanks a lot.
Frizz knew exactly what he wanted, and he controlled Mel more than a fellow like Chuck Jones or Bob McKimson, which would sometimes just let him go off and do whatever he wanted to do. But Frizz knew and saw the cartoon before it was even made. He knew exactly what he wanted, and he made brilliant cartoons. I think he won more Academy Awards than any of the directors.
Frizz was a sweetheart, and he was the easiest of the bunch and the most talented in my book.
My dad was pretty self-effacing. He never thought he was as good as he was. Each time he won, he never thought he was going to win. I don't know if he realized how talented he was.
Hawley Pratt was another genius. The studio is full of geniuses. I can't believe it.
Hawley Pratt was Frizz's strong right arm, and he executed Friz Freeling's ideas and expanded on them visually in a very creative way.
The opportunity came along when I needed an assistant, and I asked Hawley if he wanted to be my assistant, and he accepted. Well, he added a lot to my work. I mean, he plussed it.
There's a sequence in Birds Anonymous where Sylvester's
sneaking up on Tweety. Tweety's in a cage, and it's all done in this amazing silhouette, just fantastic. It's so striking, that whole sequence. That's typical, of course, of Holly.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
This has always been my all-time favorite of Frizz's cartoons. I was a very young sound effects editor at Warner Brothers, and they called up to the sound department and they said, you have an editor that can cut the sound effects on Birds Anonymous. So my boss sent me down, and this was my very first meeting with Friz Freleng. And we were very honored to win the Academy Award because it's one of the great Freleng cartoons of all time.
This is one of 5 Oscars that my dad was part of winning over at Warner Brothers during the cartoon heyday. This is Birds Anonymous with Tweety and Sylvester. And the producer was the only one that used to get these Oscars and keep them on his shelf. A fellow by the name of Ed Selzer at that time was running the Warner Brothers cartoon division. He says, if I die, I'm going to give you a Oscar, Mel. You're going to have an Oscar? And Dad says, don't say about dying. My dad didn't like to hear about that. But about 4 years after that, Ed Selzer passed away, and I'll be darned if he didn't will this to my dad. So this is one of the Oscars, one of the 5, and this one's for Birds Anonymous, my dad's favorite cartoon.
I really love birds.
It wasn't just another good, entertaining Tweety and Sylvester short. It was such a clever one. I think of it as kind of the cartoon equivalent of a really good short story.
Like I said before, once a bad old putty cat, always a bad old putty cat.